Alright, today, for your viewing pleasure, I have another piece of very cool vintage electronicry. This is a Rayovac Magnum. This is a multi-function battery-powered lantern made, I'm not sure about this, but I think it was made in 1969, making it, I'm pretty sure, the oldest electrically operated device I own. I bought this on eBay. With shipping, it came in total to about $12, so not bad at all. And this thing is in pretty good shape. It's got quite the scratches and stuff on it, but it works perfectly, and overall it's in pretty good shape for how old it is. So we'll take a look at it here. It's got two incandescent lamps here, krypton bulbs, and it's got a fluorescent lamp on the other side. So again, not sure how old it is, and I'll tell you why I think this later, but I think this was made in 1969. A website online, the Online Flashlight Museum, states that this could have been made as early as 1965. However, I take everything I read on the Flashlight Museum with a grain of salt, because I once saw a very modern looking light that they stated was from 1970, and someone else had corrected them saying it was from the 1990s, and then they changed it to 1990. So, and I see a bunch of other new looking lamps on that website that they say are from the 1960s or 70s. I think they're full of BS and they don't know what they're talking about, so I really take everything with a grain of salt. But they could be right. This could be from as early as 65. I think it could be from 69. You notice, I've shown you already, it's got this really cool stand on it that folds down like that. Could function as a handle. See that? So, I'll show you it in action. Like I said, it works perfectly. So it's got this clear lamp on it. We turn the switch. It's very bright. Let me turn the light out here. Turn that out. Ow, ow, hot, ow, hot. It is, for being almost 50, this thing sports a very bright and high quality light. So that's the regular flashlight portion of it, which on the switch here, it's got this multi-rotary switch thing, is called beam. And then the next setting on it is called blinker, and this orange krypton light here blinks. So we'll turn the lights out again. Again, very, very bright. You know, I wouldn't have thought that something this old would have such bright bulbs in it. Not just because they're old, but because the technology back then wasn't as advanced. I'm very surprised how bright this thing is. So that's the blinker setting. And then we have the next setting is beam and blinker. The beam goes on and the blinker continues blinking. You can see that there. And then the last setting is called alternate blinking. And there's that. Very, very bright. This is one of the brighter flashlights I own. I was very surprised. I didn't think this would be so bright. But it is. So we'll turn it off here. Turn the ceiling light on, won't bother with the lamp. So then we get to the fluorescent lamp, and this is where things get a bit interesting. It's no secret to you guys anymore that I love battery powered fluorescent lamps. I got one hanging up there. I got two right here. I have one in a drawer, and then somewhere down there is my pull string one. But the fluorescent lamp in this thing is where things start to get interesting. It's a standard rapid start fluorescent lamp, just like modern fluorescent lamps. The technology hasn't changed, but this is, by and large, the highest quality battery-powered fluorescent lamp I have ever seen. It's an F4 T5 bulb, so 4-watt bulb. The particular bulb in this is an F4 T5 CW, so cool white. And the reason I think that this is the highest quality battery-powered fluorescent lamp I've ever seen, I'm going to explain a problem that I believe just about every battery-powered fluorescent lamp made in the past 20 years has, and that is they have very weak, piss-poor ballasts on them. I've bought probably close to 10 new battery-powered fluorescent lights in my time. First one I ever bought was probably in the early 2000s. It was an 8-watt unit that ran on 8 AA batteries. And just about every modern fluorescent lamp I've bought has the exact same problem. They have very poor ballast. What I mean by this is, unless the batteries are brand new and it's warm enough, the bulbs have a very hard time starting. If the batteries get the least bit low, or if it's humid, or if it's cold, just about every one of these modern battery-powered fluorescent lanterns I own, they'll either have a very hard time starting, or they won't start at all. They'll just remain infinitely at a very dim brightness. Well, this lamp here, from what I can tell so far, I have brand new batteries in it, but from what I can tell from using it so far with brand new batteries in it, this has the most reliable starting I've seen in any battery-powered fluorescent lamp. So we'll turn it on right now. I'm going to put it on the stand, and we turn the switch. Boom, it's on. Takes about a quarter of a second to start. And, you know, I'll turn the light out again. It's really bright. It's a very nice lamp. There's without it, and there's with it. There's a computer over there, without it, with it. Very, very nice fluorescent lamp. And another reason I think that modern battery-powered fluorescent lamps have such a poor time starting is because they have very insufficient power supplies. Now, for instance, this lantern, it's a 4-watt bulb. It runs on 5D batteries. That's 7.5 volts. This light up here, that has 2 4-watt bulbs, so 8 watts total. It runs on 4 AA batteries, 6 volts. So this has 7.5 volts to run one 4-watt bulb, and that lamp up there has 6 volts to run 2 4-watt bulbs. Not very good. And one other fluorescent light I have that runs on 8 AA batteries, that thing's a piece of crap. It barely starts at all, even with brand new batteries. So I find the problem is they either have not enough batteries, or the batteries are too small, or a mixture of both. This thing is the first 4-watt fluorescent lamp I've seen that uses more than 4 batteries, and that's absolutely awesome. And they're big batteries too, D batteries. They'll last a long time. So, turn the light on here. So, yes, but overall, you know, I can turn this on and off. Another thing I found is, if one of these lights does successfully start, if I turn it off and turn it back on, it won't start. Oftentimes I get that too. They'll start once, but if you turn them off and turn them back on, no matter how long they've been running, they won't start again. It's so annoying, and it really sucks, because I really love battery-powered fluorescent lamps. But this thing, I can turn it on and off. It's starting instantly now because it's warm. So, you know, not only this thing doesn't start just as quick after it's been running. It starts even quicker. It's starting instantly now. It's awesome. I could do this all day. I'm curious to see how low the batteries get before it won't start anymore. I bet this thing will do a lot better than my other fluorescent lanterns. About a quarter-second start there, but it's amazing. I've never seen a battery-powered fluorescent lamp this high quality, and that was what I was betting on when I bought this thing. I was betting on that this would probably be a much better fluorescent lamp. Here's another piece of evidence that shows that today's fluorescent lamps are very poorly driven. Notice on the Rayovac here, the fluorescent bulb has just about no blackening on the ends of the bulbs. Now take a look at this modern unit. You can clearly see the dark spots at the end of each tube. Fluorescent bulbs turn black at the ends if they are overdriven or underdriven. And while I'm very sure that they're not being overdriven, it's a clear sign that the bulbs are being underdriven. All of my modern fluorescent lamps have black-ended bulbs, so that pretty much tells you the quality of the ballast compared to this unit, which has no blackening on the end of the bulb. It could also mean that this lamp was never used, but I kind of doubt that in 50 years. So, turn the lamp back on here. I'll turn this on so you can see it better. Another thing that shows how old this thing is, the bulb does not say F4T5CW, it says FL4T5CW. So apparently, before they standardized what fluorescent bulbs were called, the F for fluorescent used to be FL for fluorescent. So that's really cool too. And we just lost battery connectivity. That's the one problem this thing has. This is actually the first time it's happened since I first put batteries in it. So I guess I'll show you the battery compartment now, because I gotta wiggle those batteries. So to get in the battery compartment, there's two turn screws here. You gotta stick a dime or whatever in them and turn them. And let me make sure it's turned off. Yeah. The fluorescent part comes out here. You can push something in there to take the lens out, so you can change the bulb if you have to. Given that it says FL instead of just F, I would not be surprised if this is the original fluorescent bulb from 1969, or whenever this thing was made, and that's amazing. So here's the unit. 5D batteries. Let's turn it on to the beam. The housing, it's stamped on the housing not to turn on the fluorescent, well, turn it on at all, while the fluorescent housing's off, or you could, I assume, damage the ballast, but we'll put on beam here, and there we go. So it must be this battery. Anyhow, not the cleanest thing you ever saw. There's a bit of surface rust. There's a bit of very, very old battery acid. Decades ago, someone must have accidentally left old batteries in here. Bit of battery deposits, but not bad. Not bad. Everything's very intact. There's some surface rust. Not bad at all. And then this paper housing, turn the lamp off here. There we go. This paper housing, I've taken it out, but I'm not going to again. It covers the electronics, the ballast, and the switch, which is good. And then it says 6.9, which is why I believe this thing was made in 1969. So, I assume these pull out to change the krypton bulbs. How fitting, I have Rayovac batteries in a Rayovac light. Notice the old Rayovac logo. I don't know when that logo was made. I know back in the 1980s, Rayovac was using this logo in addition to a newer style logo. They were being used simultaneously. Kind of odd, but that's what they did. So yeah, I mean, these spring clips here, I think they're the problem. Like, this one can wiggle. I think they're not keeping very good contact. But usually, I've used this thing quite a bit since I got it, and usually once you get it in contact, it'll stay in contact. Some surface rust on the arms here. You probably notice a huge amount of scratches on the fluorescent lens here. I'm wondering if there's in existence any polish specifically for this type of plastic. I know there's polish for watch crystals, but I'm not sure if the same stuff would work on this type of plastic. So you can see how the fluorescent lamp works there. Just got the two contacts there. A little bit of battery acid. Oh well. And it says caution. Make sure switch in off position when changing batteries. Yeah, so there's inside it. I guess I'll try and take it out. See part of the lens there for the beam and for the flasher. So that's what it looks like. A little bit of it's got battery acid in my eye. That's nice. A little bit of old battery acid dust still lying around. Nothing that's potent anymore. I did get a tiny bit in my eye, but it probably won't hurt me. And yeah, that's about it. So I'll put this thing back together and we'll continue. I said what the hey. There's what the electronics look like. Your standard ballast, you get a transformer, 3 capacitors, quite a few resistors, and of course that big round thing there is the switch. Actually a more sophisticated ballast than what I've seen in my other lamps. My other lamps usually consist of all the same thing. A transformer, 1 capacitor, and a transistor or 2. That's probably another reason why it's a more high quality ballast. There's the paper cover. That slips down in just like that. I think it's just this one battery that's having trouble keeping contact, because it happened again and I spin it around and then it works. So I think that's all. Probably could use a bit of cleaning. I bet there's probably some surface rust on there. Nothing a bit of cleaning won't fix if it persists. So we put the fluorescent housing back on and we turn the screws a quarter of a turn in the opposite direction of the arrow, just like so. Make sure that's snapped down. There. When the light takes a fraction of a second to start because it hasn't been running in a while, you hear a bit of crackling from the ballast. Don't know if you'll hear it. Yeah, I heard just a tiny bit of crackling. And I just got a flash, which means, yeah, batteries aren't keeping good contact again. Anyhow, we'll shut that off. But in terms of build quality, this is also the, well, unsurprisingly, the highest quality light I've ever had. This it feels rock solid. I mean, there's no bending of the plastic whatsoever anywhere. I mean, that is pretty thick plastic they used. But yeah, like I said, not perfect. Could probably use a bit of cleaning to alleviate the very minor battery connection problem. But all in all, it's a very awesome lantern. So, one more time, we'll turn the lights out here. Now we're in total darkness. My curtain does a good job. It's broad daylight outside. My curtain, because it's actually a fleece blanket, but oh dear, I can't see this thing. There we go. Gotta turn the camera screen around. Put it on its stand here. So, first the beam. Then the blinker. Then the beam and the blinker. Those it's nice they use D batteries too, because when you have it on the beam and the blinker, you notice very, very little dimming of the beam when the blinker is on. Hardly any dimming at all. And then finally, the alternate blinking. If I can get my finger around the switch. And then, one more time, we'll do the fluorescent lamp. Again, I think the starting circuitry in this lamp is probably the best I've ever seen in any fluorescent lamp. So it'll be interesting if I ever wear the batteries down in this thing, maybe I'll just put older batteries in it to try it, how well it starts with batteries that are slightly run down. But there is the, don't know if you can see it, Rayovac Magnum. Probably couldn't see the logo there. The Rayovac Magnum 5D battery multifunction lantern from the 1960s, I assume, possibly 1969.